Hello, everybody. So HIMS is down 14% as I speak. This is hilarious. HIMS is down on GLP-1 news. Here we go again. And there's a little bit of CEO sell-off news as well. But most of the news is because of this speech. Trump was talking yesterday and he was touting much lower Ozempic price coming. And of course, because the market believes that HIMS is 100% a GLP-1 company, the market already forgot the menopause vertical that was just launched 2 days ago. The market forgot that hers is going to be $1 billion worth of a business pretty soon in 2026. The market forgot about the original blockbuster drug of HIMS, which is ED drugs, which is still their number one seller. The market forgot about anxiety, which is another huge seller, or SSRI, another huge seller. The market forgot about all of the other businesses of HIMS, and it is down 14%. HIMS is down 14% today. So anyways, Trump says, we'll lower the price of Ozempic, and you see Novo Nordisk, Lilly fall on that as well. Is Trump going to kill the cash cow of a GLP-1, craze? That was like an hour ago. So that's why the stock is dropping. We forgot about all of that. We forgot about menopause, and we're down 21% from the peak. So from the Wednesday evening peak to right now, we're down 21% on the stock. Think about that. Think about if you play in options or derivatives, how much madness this is to have such a move outside of earnings. HIMS is a big volatile stock. It's a big mover. So why is this not a reason to drop? Why this is a nothing burger at all, this announcement from Trump? Well, let me tell you why. So first of all, HIMS weight loss division is only 20% of our revenue, but it's most of the stock price movements. Most of the stock reacts to GLP-1 more than anything. For some reason, it must be included in the GLP-1 basket somewhere, and it keeps, dropping this high. Then, point number 2. Let's even assume that they drop the price of GLP-1s to something like they are in Europe, like $150 a month or $130 a month. Assuming that's even possible, this still doesn't change the fact that HIMS solves for something entirely different than just a pharmacy. It solves for doctor access. This is something people always forget about HIMS. Like, even if GLP-1s only were $150 a month, you would still need to go to the doctor, and you would still need to have your follow-ups. And so that would still cost, well, like I said, at my clinic, it's between $176 and almost $500 a visit, depending on how they code it. So most people, and this is not something that often you address in a physical, right? This is also another problem. So most people need to have access for doctor, and let's average it out. Let's say it's like $250 each time. What if you have to go see the doctor 4 times out of the year? Well, that's $1,000. HIMS solves for that because HIMS includes the cost of the doctor visit, includes the cost of a prescription. I keep repeating that. That's what most people don't understand when you talk about drug prices. HIMS is not solving just for drug prices. It is solving for the cost of a doctor visit by bundling the cost of a doctor visit and the follow-ups and the ping-pong risk. HIMS removes the ping-pong risk of a doctor saying, I gotta refer you to someone else, right? Which happens very, very often. It removes that risk. It solves for that in one single easy to understand price. That's a customer-centric approach. That's a new form of healthcare, and most people still don't get it, and that's why it just trades based on rumors about the GLP-1 price. Then HIMS sells generic liraglutide, which, okay, it's once daily, sure, but it's still effective, and it's still a GLP-1, and they entirely own that value chain. They own the whole thing. It's vertically integrated. That's their own liraglutide. It's $299 a month. $299 a month for a GLP-1. They're already super cheap. They're already $200 cheaper for a GLP-1 than, say, Ozempic. Already. And also, this weight loss phenomenon of trying to treat weight loss as, quote unquote, a disease or a minor disease, which is kind of a bigger shift in healthcare. We're treating weight loss now, while in the past we used to say, you just got to eat less. No, now we're treating it with pharmaceuticals. This movement has led to the acceptance of long known weight loss pharma components, right? So one example of that is metformin. Metformin, which is historically a diabetes medication, is being prescribed for weight loss to people who don't have diabetes, and this is what a lot of platforms are doing that. And Hims has been very successful selling these metformin based, and they have some bupropion, and they have a few other things like vitamins in there, but selling these custom weight loss pills that essentially use a lot of former diabetes drugs, which are dirt cheap, which you can compound in a single pill and people have, right? And so their oral medication kit, which is a metformin-based pill, right? That starts at $69 a month. $69 a month, and yeah, you will lose weight on metformin. That's like how it works. So, anyways, it's an unbeatable price, and we know from a call, was it 2 calls ago or 3 calls ago? We know their run rate on the non-GLP offer is more than $100 million. Was more than $100 million revenue run rate, and that was like 3 quarters ago or 2 quarters ago. So there's probably much higher. They're selling a lot of these medication kits. A lot of people who got off semaglutide probably moved to these weight loss medication kits that are only $69 a month. So this changes nothing. And the biggest reason why this changes nothing, and of course you also have to assume that he would be successful at doing that. My guess is that he's not going to be that successful, right? There's a lot of announcement power, but, touting much lower Ozempic price doesn't mean you succeeded doing that. There's a lot of entrenched interests in Congress and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not even sure he's not even going to be able to do that. But if he's able to do that, if he's able to get the price of Ozempic to $150 a month, that still doesn't solve the problem that you need a prescription. It still doesn't solve that issue. And also, Hims has competitive weight loss offerings starting at $69 a month. Right, and a lot of people, by the way, don't want to take injections. A lot of people don't like injections. I've talked about this on the channel. There's also the issue of injector pen, right? Generic liraglutide, they've been able to have an injector pen. If you look at a lot of Ozempic, the version that is inexpensive, the $4.99, does not come with an injector pen. A lot of people want an injector pen. There's a lot of, nuance in this topic. Anyways, to me, this is obviously a buying opportunity. Love it very much. Love to see the stock down. Love to see an opportunity to get back in. We are not at 100 yet. Now, the other reason, I think this is a more minor reason as to why the stock is dropping. This was more like trending yesterday. The stock really trades by the news. Is the fact that the CEO sold something like $20 or $30 million worth of share. Anyway, it doesn't change his ownership of the stock meaningfully. He sold the stock. Apparently, part of the sale was for his charity or foundation. I don't really know. I don't really look into it because I don't read much into CEO sales. In my view, CEOs have the right to sell. He's been sitting on his shares for way longer than anybody. On this channel. So to me, he has perfectly the right to sell his cells. Also, don't forget, they have a lot of tax obligations. There's a lot of flattening that you got to do. There's so many things that go into. There's so many reasons. There's dozens of reasons why a CEO sells a stock. This is why I don't consider a stock sell to be a reliable indicator, right? Because there's a lot of CEO, and clearly one of the reasons was to give to his foundation. So anyways, but people, I would argue, they're more upset about the fact that he put his eyes in a response to Antonio. Antonio, of course, being one of the newer backers of the stock. Anyways, the point is, to me, this is very, very much a manufactured frustration. Manufactured frustration is what I'm calling it, because traditional Wall Street has a long history of not liking CEOs who complain about their stocks being shorted, because traditional Wall Street have created this narrative saying, oh, shorts are healthy and we should short because we clear the market of bad actors. So traditional Wall Street hates when CEOs don't like being shorted, and in fact, CEOs can't really comment on that. They can't comment on that. So, in younger circles, I would argue, in newer forms of management, Elon Musk was part of that movement. You've had CEOs who have found creative ways to signal that the stock is shorted or to complain, and so he uses eyes, right? Eyes what does that even mean? I have no idea what eyes mean. Why would he put eyes on this, right? So he did not technically comment on anything. This is very similar. You may remember this. AMC was on a Zoom call talking about AMC CEO Adam Aaron. He was on a Zoom call talking about his company, etc. And at one point, the camera drops, and he has naked shorts. He's not wearing shorts. Drops for a split second. Right? So that's another, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It's totally random, right? It's totally random. That's just what CEOs do. So the eyes are, the Zoom call, no, wearing no pants, no shorts. Anyways, it's just what CEOs do. Wall Street, traditional Wall Street has a long history of being frustrated. And sure enough, the people who complain about this are traditional part of the Wall Street establishment. And they're like, okay, you're messing up with my short here. Don't try to give cues out. But eyes, that doesn't really mean anything. So anyways, this was not investment advice, not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I hope you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.